Clone Commandos and Droidekas should not be part of the Enforcer class. In fact, I think like the Commando Droids and the ARC Troopers, they should have their own class, and maybe this could be the Sentinel class which was found in the files more than a year ago now. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I believe that Droidekas and Clone Commandos should be parts of their own class and why it would be better for the overall game, but I won't be doing this alone. I am joined by the Twisted Jedi. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey mate, thanks for having me. There's some really interesting points to talk about in today's video that hopefully leaves the viewers at home feeling the same way that we do by the end of this video.
Hopefully they will. Leave a like if you enjoy, everyone, and let me know by the end of the video, when you've seen it all, which point you agreed with the most and why. Let's get into things with the first point, which I'll be covering. So we're going to split this up into 2 points each, 4 overall. Let's talk about the set health for the classes. Now right now when it comes to Enforcers, let's go to the Clone Wars era. So for the Enforcers, the Republic have the Wookiee Warriors and soon to be the Clone Commandos, and then the Separatists obviously have the B2 battle droids and the Droidekas. And the weird thing is, the classes have always had like set health. So for example, Assaults, Heavy, Officer, Specialists, they've all had set health no matter what the era is. And the Jump Troopers all have the same health, and before the arrival of the Droideka, the Enforcers all had the same health. But since the arrival of the Droideka, and I would think with the Clone Commando as well, judging off gameplay I've seen, the health is different for all different Enforcers. So the Wookiee Warriors and the B2 battle droids share the same health, and the Droidekas and the Clone Commandos will most likely share the same health as well, and really this does kind of point towards why have them in the same class. Who's going to use the weaker Enforcers in the Wookiees and the B2 battle droids when you've got these more powerful Enforcers? If we added in the Sentinel into this game and put the Droidekas and the Clone Commandos into that class, they would be able to have their own set health for that class that would carry out through all the eras if they were to add more kind of troopers to that class as well, and it would allow the Enforcers to stick with having that same health in every era. Unfortunately, that isn't the case right now. It is a bit confusing, and it kind of raises the question, why put all these units into the same class just for them to have different health? Also, something else here on the same point is prices. Just like the actual health of these units, each class would have the same price, but that's different now as well, so Enforcers are costing different amounts. It doesn't add up for me. It makes some easier to get than others. I'd just say put these out to different classes.
One of the biggest missed opportunities, I think, with not just the Clone Commando but also the Droideka was the fact that we did not get to level them up and earn star cards from scratch. Most people that have played the game a little bit will already have all purple cards for the Clone Commando without even touching them gameplay wise. I think the ability to level up from scratch and earn new star cards gives players something new to work towards, and although the Commando will be fun to play on launch, it would have been more enjoyable to start from level 1, as none of our previous heroes and reinforcements ever started with having purple star cards already earned, except for possibly the Droideka. So that kind of takes away from the fact that these are brand new reinforcements, because we already have those star cards maxed out, or anyone that's played the game a little bit has those star cards at max level. So just a little bit less enjoyment if you don't get to level them up from scratch. I think that would have been a great point to have. Another point worth mentioning is, as someone who has played the game since launch, it will be hard to know who has put in the time to level up the Commando to a high level after its release, and which players just have high levels because they've played that class a lot. I think it would have been better if we had a fresh start level wise so you could see who really put in the work with the Commandos, instead of just having everyone already at a high level with purple star cards because they've played a lot of the Enforcer class with a different reinforcement.
For point 3, we're going to be talking about Droidekas and Commandos not being restricted to match other Enforcers and instead can be buffed. Now, a lot of you, including myself, have wanted a bit of a buff to the Droidekas. Admittedly, I think they're a lot better than I probably did a few months ago, and that's just due to practice, but at range the Droidekas are pretty weak, but DICE are refusing to buff them. In fact, they won't even touch upon this when asked about it most of the time. And this is simply down to the fact that they are part of the Enforcer class, and they cannot make Droidekas much better than the B2 battle droids, the Wookiee Warriors, because if that's the case, nobody is going to pick the B2 battle droids and the Wookiee Warriors. So they kind of have to keep the droidicas, and it'll be the same with the commandos, to a certain level so they're not too overpowered and they're balanced to match their counterparts. This is completely restricting because a droidica should be so much better than a B2 battle droid, and while in a lot of cases they are, in a lot of other cases they're not. And this is down to the restrictions of not being able to buff them because they've got to match the other units in their specific class. If the droidicas and clone commandos were part of the Sentinel class, then you'd be able to say, okay, let's make the Sentinel class the dearest class in terms of battle points in game, meaning that players would have to work towards these units a lot more, so you could make them that bit more overpowered because you've paid a larger price for them, and they're not easy to obtain by just gaining 1000 battle points, which really, that shouldn't be how much a droidica and a clone commando costs. It's kind of embarrassing. And I think this does kind of relate my 2 points together, that the pricing and the health is very restricted because of them being part of the same unit, and they should really be on their own, in their own class, because they play so differently, especially droidicas, to the other units.
Another thing worth bringing up is a lack of unique star card sets for the recently released droidica and also the upcoming clone commando. Putting these two reinforcements into their own class means that their star cards don't have to align with the already established enforcer class and could have unique star cards of their own. On top of this, I think that the fact that the enforcer's best star card in Explosives Expert was taken away from the Enforcer class to make way for the Droidica and Clone Commando, and I think that's taking a step backwards, not forwards. I understand that they replaced it, but I do think it would have been better to leave it and have a new set of star cards for the Droidica and Commandos. However, I do realize this may have taken up a lot more time, which could have led to the delay of the release of these reinforcements. So it's hard to balance that. I think it was a good idea in terms of adding these reinforcements to the game, but I think they should have given them their own unique star cards and let us level them up from level 1.
But there are the 4 points, everyone. I hope you liked them. Let me know in the comments section which one was your favourite, and thank you to the Twisted Jedi for joining me today and covering some points.
Thanks for having me, mate. Always a pleasure.
I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. We did a video back on his channel a few months ago where I went on his Battlefront Barrage series, a bit like a podcast, so definitely check that out. There'll be an annotation at the end of this video or a link in the description to that as well. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and bring on these clone commandos. I seriously can't wait, and I'd just like to see them part of their own class, like the Sentinel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.